Hey, cuties. Everybody, we have a guest today.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, so for the OG 5-year time listeners, we know Lauren. Oh my gosh, Lauren. We're podcasting for the first time in has it almost been 2 years?
2 years, I think. I was thinking about it because I was like, we started during
it was like Christmassy time, I think, or winter during the pandemic.
Yeah. And then I was thinking it was like almost 2 years ago that.
Yeah, I feel like it was like November or something. Yeah, during 2020, which seems like wild. That was so long ago. But oh my gosh, you're back.
I'm back. I was thinking about it. I was like, are we going to be like, hi, Lauren. Hi, Grace.
Oh my gosh. I should have listened to an old episode to update myself on how we used to say things. I'm so excited to have Lauren here. As you all know, well, I guess currently I'm not away on vacation, but at this moment in time I am. So we have Lauren coming in with an episode, and this is like our bit of an intro to having guests again. Let me know what you think. Obviously, we all love Lauren. I would also love Lauren to be on the podcast more often if she's interested.
Well, I was actually gonna say like part of we could kind of say about like what had happened because people are like,
yes, I was gonna say we should I know there's so much tea, guys. Like we kind of left you hanging. Me and Lauren had a huge fight. We haven't talked for 2 years. This is our first time meeting.
See you at family dinner.
Yeah, so we'll definitely, so I guess we'll jump into well, first, Lauren, introduce yourself just in case, because there's new people here. So tell us who you are.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I am Grace's sister-in-law, or Grace is my sister-in-law. We're
both
sisters.
ways around.
I am a, you want me to give me like the whole spiel of
yeah, give the spiel.
Okay. I am a personal trainer and holistic health coach. I live downtown Toronto. I'm 25 years old, or just turned 25 the other day.
Ooh.
And yeah, that's me. I'm Lauren.
Yeah, and Lauren is amazing. So, yeah, I guess we could do some life updates, and then, or should we say like, well, I guess that's kind of like this week I learned is like why we went separate ways. Not separate ways. We're making it sound dramatic, guys. I promise you it's not dramatic. But yeah, let's get into our life updates. So as you said, it was your birthday recently. So I want to hear all about that. And you went on a trip to Montreal, I think, too, which is so exciting.
I did. It was really fun. So it was my birthday. I'm a Virgo baby. Not that I'm like super into astrology or anything, but people love to know.
She's truly a Virgo, I believe. Honestly, Lauren taught me this. I feel like on the podcast is when I learned what a Leo actually meant, and that I'm self-absorbed and
egotistical and but that's for men.
I know. I know, but I feel like anytime I need like a little boost of confidence, I like tap into the Leo man side.
Oh, for sure. That would make sense because they're like, I'm the center of attention. It's all about me. But like, yeah. You holster that energy in a more positive light.
Exactly.
Yes. So it was my birthday the other week. I turned 25. I actually had like a little, not like an epiphany, but kind of like a transformative last month of summer before turning 25. Because I kind of sat down one day and I was like, what am I doing? Like, what am I truly doing with my life? Not in like I'm in the depths of darkness or like that I was really upset with my life or anything like that. I was like, I love the way that my life is going, but what changes can be made to make my life more fulfilling? Because I feel like always in August before my birthday, something happens that makes me not enjoy my birthday. I'm not sure why. And I spoke about this at our dinner a little bit, I think. But something always happens and then I'm like, I don't deserve to celebrate my birthday, or like I'm not in a place where I should be celebrated, et cetera, which you should always be celebrated on your birthday.
100%.
It's your day of birth. But for me, it's very much a mental thing. Like where I am mentally in my life will reflect on how I feel on my birthday. So anyways, not to go too deep into that, but so on my birthday, we went to dinner and Grace came, and some of my girlfriends were there.
It was a girls only dinner.
It was a girls only dinner. I wanted to make sure it was a girl dinner.
We sent Trevor away, literally.
Yeah, I was like, sorry, Trevor,
go walk the streets of Toronto, find somewhere else.
Go find something to do. I literally told, there's only a few guys that came, but I was like, sorry guys, you can't come to dinner. It's just for the girls. And then as soon as we got back, I was like, hey, everybody can change into like their comfy clothes and like we can just play games and hang out. Because I didn't want to do anything crazy. I thought the dinner could be like the nice main event, and then the afterwards we can just like socialize, mingle, whatever, play some games. And I feel like it was my first time drinking. Well, I guess technically I had some drinks the day before when we had our family dinner, but my first time drinking in like a month and a bit or whatever it had been. And I feel like looking back on it, I didn't think I was actually that intoxicated, but I was like, I actually was pretty drunk when I think about it, because I don't even remember what we did when we were here other than like sit and play games. But I'm like, I feel like people were here for a decent amount of hours, but like, what were we all doing?
I literally have no idea. I can tell you I was very drunk. As I am. I always say Lauren's birthday is like the one time a year where I don't know what happens, but my brain turns off.
Yeah. I do remember you were like sitting on the couch and Rachel had made you a disgustingly strong or whatever drink.
My gosh.
And I remember being like, oh, I'm going to fix it. So I take the cups to the kitchen. And then I was like, to be honest, I'm too drunk to fix this right now. I'm like, everybody can just drink what they want to drink. And
then you literally gave it back to me and somehow it spilled all over me. Like the way I grabbed the cup from you, it like,
oh yeah,
it like tipped. It's like, cause I was holding it with two fingers and it just like tipped right onto me. And I was like, honestly, it was meant to be. Like,
it was meant to be. You weren't supposed to drink it. You weren't supposed to drink it. So yeah, I had a lovely evening, and then I think at like 12:30. I'm not sure what time you left. Before 12?
I think we got home like 1-ish or something. So like just before 12:30.
Yeah, I think just after you guys left, I like whispered to Damie. I was like, I want to go to bed now. Yeah. Should I tell everybody to leave? And he was like, yeah, it's your birthday. If you want to go to bed, go to bed. Yeah. So I was like, guys, I'm going to go to bed, but like, you can like mingle for a little bit, but I'm going to go to bed. And they're like, okay, well, I'll go. And I was like, perfect. Okay. Bye guys. So
that's such a Lauren way of asking.
I was like, you can like talk, but skedaddles. Anyways, so that was lovely. I had a great dinner. Thank you again, Grace. She blessed us with taking care of the bill. I was like, girl. I was so shook, and I was also like very scattered in that moment because you're like, okay, let's go, and I was like, huh? What the heck? So thank you very much. My friends also very much appreciated that. And then, so enough about I guess my trip kind of goes into my birthday. So I went to Montreal with a friend, a boyfriend, and so he took me to Montreal. It was really, really nice. I honestly, I felt bad because I didn't realize he had never been to Montreal before. And I was kind of just, it was his first time. And I was kind of just in La La Land. Yeah. And he was like booking everything, planning everything.
Oh my God.
Reserving everything.
Perfect.
And I literally didn't have to think about anything, but I didn't realize that he had never been. So I feel like I should have been the one that was kind of recommending and taking him around. Yeah. Like I did pick some of the dinner spots because we were there for 2 nights. So we went to 2 different restaurants for dinner. Yeah. I picked the dinner spots, but other than that, he was like, oh, let's go to like the Biodome. Let's go to the Ferris wheel. Let's go to here. Let's go to there. And he was just like booking all these things and taking me all these places. He's a man who knows
what he wants.
Exactly. And I was like, I don't really feel bad because it was kind of my birthday present was the trip. But I thought about it and I was like, oh, I feel like I should have taken him around more, but it was fine.
He seemed to be happy to do it.
He was very much, he liked booking, like planning everything. He enjoyed it. He was like, I'll take charge. You just like follow. And I was like, perfect. So it was really nice. We traveled well together.
Awesome.
So that was nice. And then, I've just been working since I got back. So
very fun. I feel like traveling, that's like the tell-all. Like if you can travel well together, like you're in a good place.
Yes. You're very, very easy to travel with.
That's good. Amazing. That sounds like so much fun. Yeah, I've actually only been to Montreal once. Like I've driven through it before, but like gone once. Me and Trevor went like a few years ago, and me and Trevor never plan anything. Like when we go places, we just like go and then like walk and walk into a restaurant and like figure out what we're going to do while we're there. And I feel like Montreal's the perfect place to do that. Like it's so
Yeah.
walkable. You
Yep.
can just like find an adventure wherever you go.
Yeah, you can just walk
Yeah.
around, and there's things everywhere. There's like old
Yeah.
Montreal, and then there's downtown Montreal, and then
Yeah.
there's
Oh my gosh, old Montreal is so beautiful. And it's like
I
right there. All of a
know.
sudden you're just
Yeah.
like, where am I? Am I in Paris?
Yeah, right? I was like, this is giving European vibes. I love it.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, I'm so happy you had such a good birthday. And I totally agree with you. I feel like as you like become an adult, there's something that changes with birthdays where you just, I don't know, they can be sad sometimes. Like,
Right?
and it's not for like any particular reason necessarily. I think you like try and find what the reason is. Like you always try and find purpose to your feelings, but like sometimes your feelings are just there.
Yeah.
And yeah, birthdays can feel strange, but I'm glad it was a good birthday. And it was the perfect amount of like go out, have dinner, and then like chill vibes back. I love that. Like that's a great
me.
mix.
I don't need to be going out.
No. I feel like when you're out, like you're so, I don't know, you just distract it from spending time with your friends and family and the people that you're with. Like it's, it's like you're looking for a good time, but you already have a good time by you, right?
Exactly. So might as well just bring the party here.
Totally. Amazing.
And when I say here, I'm like pointing to my apartment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. On this podcast. Next year we'll have Lauren's birthday on the podcast. Yeah, my week. Well, today I've literally been, I mean, it's only 10 a.m., so I haven't been that much stuff. Well, as a mom, you wake up early and you feel like you do a lot of stuff.
You wake up very early and you do a lot of things before I got out of bed.
Got so confused this morning because we've been sleeping with our windows open, which I love, like that fall when it gets so cold and you're in your little cocoon. Like I love that feeling. But it's also been like really dark in the morning, which is totally throwing me off on like what time it is. And so typically Ro wakes up like around 6-ish. And so she came into our bed this morning and I was like, oh, it must be around 6. Like we're going to have to wake up soon. And I looked out the window and I was like, okay, it's dark. I really don't know what time it is. And then she fell back asleep. So I was like, oh, it must be the middle of the night. Like she normally won't fall back asleep if it's like after 5 a.m. So I was like, oh, it must be the middle of the night. And I was like, why do I feel so awake? Like I was like, I feel like I could wake up now. And I was like, oh gosh, it's the middle of the night. Like I'm so awake. And then all of a sudden I hear this like noise and I was like, oh, maybe Trevor went to the bathroom. I'm like so delirious. Like I have no idea what's happening because I heard like water turning on and off. And I was like, is someone in the bathroom turning the sink on and off? And then I was like, oh, maybe it's like a sprinkler outside, like in someone's yard. But I was like, who schedules their sprinkler to go off in the middle of the night? Because I'm still stuck on the fact that it must be the middle of the night.
It's the middle of the night, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh no, or did it get really cold last night and like our sprinkler like busted or something because like it's not turned off yet? And then I was like worried. I was like, oh no. And then so I like went to peek outside the window.
The night,
literally. And then I went to peek out the window and I was like, oh no, it's definitely our neighbor like across the street, like their sprinkler going off. And I was like, that is so weird. And so then I was like, okay, I need to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom and I checked what time it was. And I was like, oh, it's literally like 5:45. It's the morning. Like, and I was like, oh, Ro fell back asleep. So then I just laid in bed for a while and we didn't end up getting out of bed until 7, which was like amazing. So it was like a luxury morning.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I made such a classic breakfast. I made us egg in a hole or like toad in a hole, you know?
Yes.
Like
I made that the other day. It was so good.
So good. And I think that's the first time I've made it for Ro. She's really into dippy eggs right now, like anything with runny yolks. So I was like, oh, I'm going to make her toad in a hole. And she was obsessed. So that was perfect. It was like a really good morning. Like this is the first morning where I felt like, okay, I'm kind of getting adjusted to the dark mornings. Like all week or for the past like week, I have literally been like, I can't get up. Like I can't do it. This is not happening right now. But yeah, so I think I'm adjusting. But anyways, that was how I spent my morning. And then I asked, it's Wednesday, so I asked Becca what she wanted for dinner for Wednesday night dinner. Yeah, so I made a little menu. Just before this, we're having quesadillas, so I'm excited, and I'm gonna go grocery shopping after. But that's my little updates.
Nice.
But let's get into our snack and drink of the week. So, Lauren, what is your favorite thing you're sipping on right now?
Honestly, I have a big bottle of it. Is sparkling water.
Oh, sparkling water.
Yes.
Fancy queen.
Carbonated San Benedito,
Oh, yeah.
whatever it's called.
I love that one. I like the bottle of it because you can hold it nicely.
Yeah, because it has the little like
bend.
Whoop,
Yeah.
yes.
The
so
hourglass.
Yes, the hourglass. Yeah. That is my drink of the week. If you asked me last week, it would have been this like Zevia cream soda, but this week it's just carbonated water.
Very nice.
My snack. I haven't been super snacky lately, but on Sunday I had a nice like just couch potato day where I was binge watching a show, and I had they're like I don't even know what the brand is called. They're like the sugar-free gummies.
Oh, sweet fish? No, sweet
something sweet. Smart sweets.
Smart sweets.
Yes. I literally got every single different flavor or kind and tried all of them.
Which is your favorite?
Excuse me. I would say the peach rings.
Oh,
I found some of the other ones got stuck in my teeth. Like there was like the Coca-Cola ones, and I was like
consistency.
Oh, like
it was more like a jube kind of.
Yeah, but it was like I guess
wrong.
It's just wrong. So
it's wrong for a Coke. Like a Coke's supposed to be like a gummy worm. Like
but it was chewy and it was getting stuck. So I think the peach ring was my favorite one.
I feel like people say that the peach ring is their favorite. So I believe you. Rose kind of obsessed. That's her snack of the week. I'm just going to throw that in there as peach rings. She's like obsessed. And we went to play like games with Trevor's friends the other week, and everyone brought like snacks. And so they had those like buckets of snacks that have like the lid on them of like just candies or like sweets. So they brought a bucket of those like peach rings, so they gave them to us because Ro was like loving them. And now literally, you know how you open those containers and they're like rip, they're so loud when they open. It's literally like a dog. Like I'll be packing Ro's snack in the morning for school, and I like sometimes put a peach ring in there, and I'll like go to open it, and like she'll be all the way upstairs, and she's like, peach rings. Like, I'm just running down the stairs.
She's like, where's my treat? I want it.
I'm like, okay, sit. So anyways, that is yum. I'm trying to think, like, I feel like my drink at the moment is similar to yours. Yours is just the plain sparkling water. I'm like totally into my like bedazzled sparkling water right now. And I've been doing mint and lime, which it just tastes like a mojito. Like obviously it doesn't taste like a mojito fully, but like it does. Like there's something about it. It's just so good. I also like it with lemon. I even find with lemon it's mojito-ish as well. It's because of the mint, I guess. And then my snack, I actually shared a TikTok about it, but it's these cheese puffs, and I think it's by Barbara's Kitchen, but it's the specific flavor. They're cheddar and blue cheese, and I'm not a blue cheese girly, but they don't taste like blue cheese. The blue cheese gives them like a stronger cheese taste, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so good.
Yum.
Like we finished a bag in like 2 days here. And Ro is obsessed with them. Like, and she does not like the regular ones, which I don't blame her. The regular ones don't really taste like anything, but the blue cheese ones are so good.
Yum.
So yeah.
What grocery store do you get it from?
I got mine from Farm Boy, but I know that you can get it at Costco. So I'm assuming it's other places as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will go to Farm Boy then, because I don't have a Costco membership.
Yeah. If you love them, then you can ask your dad to pick you up a big bag.
He always like, anything you want from Costco? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. I know. I like, I don't even know it's at Costco.
I know. Me neither.
Yeah. I haven't. We got a membership to buy my longboard because we got some deal. And like we used to have a membership, but then we wanted the longboard. So then Trevor was looking into getting a membership, and then all of a sudden they mailed us like, get a free membership or renew for free now. So we're like, okay, awesome. Anyways, I went to do that, and I literally haven't gone back to Costco. Like, it's so overwhelming.
It is very overwhelming.
It's so overwhelming. And we're like not bulk food people, and my brain doesn't work that way. Like I like to schedule a week in advance. I'm not someone who's going to buy like a huge pack of meat and then cut it up and put it in the freezer. Like I just can't. I'll just forget about it. Like I just don't think that way.
I feel that. There's probably still meat in my freezer.
Literally.
a
Us
year and a
too.
half ago.
Oh my gosh, us too. Like our real estate agent gives us a turkey every year for Christmas, and so we have like a freezer full of turkeys because it's like, when am I going to cook a turkey?
You can make a
Yeah.
turkey. Well, I want to learn how to make a turkey, so we'll
Oh,
use one of
it's
yours.
wow. We should do a
I've
turkey
never.
TikTok. That would be fun. I'll teach
Yes.
you how to make a
Okay.
turkey. Yeah,
Yes, please.
it's easier than it looks. It's actually like, yeah, it's intimidating because it's large, but then you put it in the oven and never think about it again.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into this week I learned. Oh, I feel like there's someone just knocked at my door. Hopefully Trevor answers it. I think we're good. Okay, this week I learned. So, life of a 20-something-year-old is what we're talking about because Lauren is our in-house 20-year-old now. I've said goodbye to that era of my life.
She turned 30.
I said, see you later, sis. And so a reason that we started the podcast that many years ago, me and Lauren, was to keep in touch and create connection. But why it's called 5 years time is because Lauren and I are 5 years apart, and we loved sharing our different perspectives from the different phase of life, because I feel like so much happens in 5 years.
It does.
Yeah. And I feel like even since the 2 years since we've talked to you, so much has happened. And so Lauren is right now in this like stepping into her truest self era. She kind of talked about that leading up to her birthday. But even before that, like I feel like this whole past year, you've really just like figured out your why and are like fully living life for yourself and just like going with the flow and feeling good instead of going with the flow and like letting other people interfere.
Pull
you know what I
mean? Other directions? Yes,
yeah,
for
you're
sure.
Like, you've got to focus. So I really want to talk to you about that because I feel like so many people listening, even myself, we always talk about this on the podcast, figuring out our why and how we can always evolve and change, and we're not like always going to be who we are. Even now, if we feel great, who we are is probably not who we're going to be in a few years.
Yeah.
And I just would love to hear your perspective. And I from an outside viewer have been like, oh my gosh, Lauren has just like really, she's just glowing like from the inside out. Like she has just like found such good energy in her and around her, and it's just really like inspiring to watch because I like feel like I've been in here for the long ride.
Yes, you've been here through all my ups and downs and my twists and turns.
Yes, and I mean they'll never stop, and I want to be here for all of them. But
yes.
I feel like right now you're just like you've really like, I don't know, you figured out something has changed, and you're doing a lot of good stuff for yourself.
Yeah, I guess I'll go back to kind of January was when it started, I want to say, because so I worked at the club last year. I don't know if I had started working there at any point of the podcast, or if I was sure. I don't remember what I was doing. I guess everything was closed. But I feel like at one point
when we ended the podcast, it would have, or like when you and me ended it, it would have been
I think I was probably transitioning.
I think so.
I think I was getting that, like in that couple of months I was getting, I think I had started or something like that.
I think
so that also played a role as to, anyways, I will discuss that in a second.
Yes.
So I was working at the club, which was like terrible for my mental health, horrible. I definitely, if you are a strong-willed person that is able to just go on to work on the weekend, the sleep schedule being flip-flopped doesn't bother you, then definitely try it out. It's great money. But the energy and like just the environment that you're in, and like it just literally sucks the life out of you. So and just so that I was there, the club had closed, and I was like, okay, what, like this is when I was kind of like, what is my why? What am I doing? What is my purpose? Because I had stopped taking on clients because I was so tired all the time, and I didn't feel like I was really living the life that I was trying to inspire others to live. I was completely like flip-flopped around. My energy was just so low all the time.
Surviving, like
I was literally just surviving. Like anytime we would have our Sunday like get-togethers, I was like, I need a nap. Like I can't.
Lauren would literally just be asleep.
I would just sleep. Like
there was a time in her life where we would just be like, oh, there's Lauren asleep on the
just
couch.
there sleeping. Like I was just there and I was
Yeah.
asleep always because
Yeah.
my schedule is just so flip-floppy. And I think I spoke on this when we used to do the podcast, how like I'm very schedule oriented and I'm definitely a morning person who likes to start being productive in the morning and then like be done everything by like 6 p.m.
Totally.
And then I'm good to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, in January, I think I had in December kind of like been looking for different places to like studios, like freelance studios. But the thing was I didn't have clients. So I was like, I could go to these studios, but I don't have clients yet.
Yeah.
So I had magically stumbled upon a place that was looking for a female personal trainer and they had clients to give me in classes that needed to be taught. So
Perfect.
as soon as I got there, I was getting clients booked and busy and classes. So that was lovely. And then I spent like 7 months there, like transforming myself and my mind and my energy, like slowly but surely. And I think I still had stumbled in my like little dark places every so often, which mostly revolved around like drinking and staying out late and wanting to be in the party scene still a little bit.
Yeah.
And so at one point I realized like I woke up one morning and I was just so hungover, like deathly violently hungover. I was like, I cannot do this. Like this, I wouldn't by any means be like I abused alcohol to any like, but like it was borderline. It was getting there. It was pushing it. I was definitely like getting way too comfortable being blackout and like trying to pretend like I wasn't.
Yeah.
And then waking up the next morning and just being like the whole day is a write-off. Even like the day after would be a write-off because I was like, I am dead.
Yeah.
And but again, I was still functioning because I was like, oh, I have to be up early for clients and classes. But at one point I was just like, enough is enough. And I also at that point was starting to get my own clients and starting to train people at a different studio without being hired on by that person, like by the person that owned the studio. It was just like a freelance studio. So I kind of went through this little transformative, like, I really want to be independent. I don't want to be working for anybody else. I that was the goal, was to be my own boss and like have my own business. I think I just needed to get that little kickstart, that confidence boost back, being able to be good with people one-on-one and like in group settings, leading classes and all that stuff. So that, like, I am very thankful for the opportunity that I had at that gym that I was at that had given me those clients and that opportunity to like reinvent myself. So that was great. But yeah, so when I had my little transformative moment, I swear it was like a bell went off. I just instantly, like, I think I went straight to journaling and the Bible. Like I was like, go back to my roots of like connecting with God. And that doesn't mean going to church necessarily, because I don't go to church. I haven't found a church in Toronto that I like, but it was really like
churches are a whole nother type of topic.
Yes. But it was really about, and I say this like I'm religious, but also like spiritual in a sense, where it's really about the relationship that you have with yourself. And that also goes to like whatever your higher being may be, whether that's the universe or a different type of God. But for me, it's like I've always known that relationship with God, like a Christian religious standpoint, and then also really tapping into the relationship that I have with myself. So one morning I was just like, okay, let's write down everything that I need to do today. Let's organize my thoughts. Let's figure out a way to be independent and be my own boss completely and fully. And also, while we're doing that, really transform myself from the inside outwards. So I started really taking care of my gut health, which also had played a part in how I was feeling day to day, which meant cutting out alcohol and really focusing on the things that I was eating. So like eating at home and just making sure I was spending more time at home and making a good environment for myself here. And then I had been thinking about who is my target audience? And I'm like, women. I want to target women. So really like honing in on that aspect of fitness. And I was like, how do I do that? And I was like, well, why don't I just literally make my content directed towards women instead of trying to please everybody?
Yeah.
Like, I think what I was doing before was like putting out content that everybody would like. And I'm like, I'm not going to get the clientele that I want if I'm just trying to please everybody.
Yeah. You can never
So,
please everybody. That's
and
like
yes,
the
you
hardest
can
lesson to
never
learn,
please.
especially as a
Yes.
people pleaser.
Yes. You literally can never win. And
No.
also, men are just, no offense to men.
Well, especially on social media.
They're just the worst. Like,
they're so icky.
And they just annoy me. And they always like, even just like they're like, I think I keep saying like, sorry.
That's okay.
I posted a video and I was holding a mic.
Yeah.
And even somebody was like, put the mic on your shirt. And I was like, don't tell me what to do.
Exactly.
Please leave me alone. The audio was fine. Anyways, point being, I was like, let me hone in. Let me target women. And my first step of that was signing up for a course for pre and postnatal training. So that's what I'm currently working on right now, that I started at the beginning of September. I think I finally I got my textbook around my birthday, and then I really started doing like my daily learnings after I got back from Montreal. So I've been studying that and really just focusing on making sure that every day when I wake up, I'm checking in with myself. And before I go to bed, sometimes I'll still watch an episode of my show, but I've been trying to read rather than just like sit in front of the TV mindlessly, because I feel like I don't get a lot of time. I do get a lot of time with myself, but a lot of that is studying or making plans for people. And then I also have a lot of energy exchange with the clients that I am working with. And I want to just make sure that when they're coming to me, because a lot of the times personal trainers are also part-time therapists, because people will come to you to talk to you about things. I'm like, I want to make sure that the advice that I'm giving to other people, or even just the listening ear, is coming from a genuine place, and that I have to really think about the things that I'm also like talking about and saying to these people, because as much as I may not think about it, I have a very large influence. They're coming to me with a big vulnerability, and I want to make sure that I am somebody who is able to support that and give them advice, or just like a genuine listening ear if that's what they need. So yeah, that is what I have been working on. And that's kind of where I'm at with my little, like, I swear as soon as I was like, oh my gosh, I'm turning 25. Like, originally I never really had that like, oh, I was supposed to be here and I was supposed to do this. Like, I was supposed to be married with kids, because ideally that's what I wanted to be when I was 25. But that was like when I was 16, that was my goal. Like, I want to be 25, married with kids. I still want that for myself, but how can I raise a whole nother human being, or like be in a lifetime commitment with somebody if I'm not like trusting myself and able to keep commitments that I'm making to myself, or be reliable to other people and be somebody that somebody else can count on. So yes, that was my little transformative era.
Yes, Lauren. We love it. We love it. And like, it's so true. Like, I feel like that's how it happens. Like I think you start making little changes here and there, and then maybe you're like falling back, going forwards, falling back. And then all of a sudden, like, something inside of you is just like, I got this. Like, I know what I want, and we're going for it. And I feel like it can be so discouraging at that beginning point when you're going back and forth, and you're like, is this really worth it? Like, it's so much easier to do what I used to be doing, or like, this is so much, like, but then once your brain connects to your heart, like, there's no stopping you.
Locked in.
There's no stopping you.
Yes.
But that's amazing. And I think that's so inspiring. And I think so many people will really connect with that. And it's one of those things that I loved how you had said, like, when you were 16, you saw yourself at 25, married and with kids. And I think that's something, like, growing up as a Christian, that you see for your future, like, that women become mothers and that's your life.
And that's,
and
that's it.
And I feel like once I became married and had child, I all of a sudden realized, like, oh wait, I'm still alive and I still have so much life left to live. Like, it doesn't just end there, right? So I always like, all my single girlies and all my people who, like, aren't in that committed relationship yet, like, I always say, like, embrace it, because, like, you only have that time in your life. If marriage is something that you're looking for, like, you only have yourself for so long. So just like love on it and
Yeah.
embrace it. But I was going to say something else. Oh yeah. And I guess that kind of goes into, so Lauren had said that she was a club girly, did bottle service, and was like
Mm-hmm.
working that shift work, and it was just
Yes.
like so rough on her. Being like having to switch from Monday to Friday, or I guess Monday to Thursday, normal hours,
Mm-hmm.
and then the
Mm-hmm.
weekend different. And when you were talking about that, I was like, I feel like maybe you did start that when we ended the podcast, because I know we said we were
Yes.
going to touch on that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I guess we can talk about that, like why me and Lauren went separate ways. And it's
Mm-hmm.
literally the hottest tea in town. So sit back and
Ooh.
relax.
All right.
But I feel like at that time, like I guess we can share our perspectives. Do you want to
Yes, I
go
was just
first? Should
about to
I
say
go
that.
first?
Go ahead. You can go ahead.
Okay, I'll go first. Something I love about Lauren and me, like I've known Lauren since she was in middle school. And I feel like before I started dating Trevor, if you've listened to like how me and Lauren met. So I feel like we've had a relationship for a long time. And something I love about our relationship is I feel like it always like it's always been sister vibes, like because I was your
Mm-hmm.
camp counselor. I feel like that's naturally sister vibes. That's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
the person you are. When you live together for an extended period of time, if you've been a camp counselor before, you know this, like your kids get on your nerves, and then
Yep.
you love them sometimes, or
Yep.
like not sometimes, more so sometimes they get on your nerves, and then you love them. But you have to like you foster that relationship that is like not love or hate, but like that family relationship where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
even when you're on my nerves, I love you and you're here for me.
Yep.
And we also have great times, and sometimes it's hard and we're grumpy in the morning or grumpy at night or
Yep.
whatever it is, right? And so I feel like our relationship started that way, and it's always been that way.
Mm-hmm.
um and it's never been, at least for, again, speaking on my perspective, like it's never been an we've had ups and downs, and it's never been like this is the end of us, like
Yes.
we're never
Never
talking
speaking
again.
to you again. Yeah.
And so I feel like when me and Lauren started the podcast, we both were like so into it and loving it, and we both like were meeting on the same page. And then as the years went on, or I guess year, I can't remember how, I think we did 1 year together. As the
Mm-hmm.
year had gone on, I was going through changes and starting a new job, many new jobs in that time. And then Lauren, of course, being in her early 20s, was going through lots of changes. We were also coming out of a pandemic. She was starting different jobs. She was moving. She was at school when we started. She was figuring out if school was for her or not her,
Mm-hmm.
what her next steps were. I think she had just begun club life, and her schedule was all over the place. And she spoke to this and how it affected her like relationships and daily commitments to herself and her
Mm-hmm.
other things. And so I feel like I saw that um, her. I felt that Lauren was not as committed to the podcast as she was. And I felt like because we have spoken about this and I've spoken about this, like the podcast is a very like vulnerable place. And as Lauren said with her clientele, it's like the same thing. Like I'm coming here to share with you my life, but also like you guys, I have influence, and you guys are asking questions or wanting to know more, and I have a responsibility to share thoughtfully and carefully. And if I'm not my best self, like that's very hard to do, especially like
Mm-hmm.
the topics me and Lauren were talking about. Like we got deep and vulnerable, and like if you're not in a place to share that, like then you can't, like you just
No.
can't, and you don't want to, like it's hard to pull yourself into that mindset. And like even though it's just a conversation, it is like very anything like forward facing to an audience, like even me like filming my TikToks, even though I'm just cooking, like it is an energy release like no
Yep.
other. Like it does take a toll on you.
Yep.
And yeah, so I just felt like Lauren was in a place where um if we didn't like if I didn't talk to her about it and said like, hey, I think we should like maybe take a break from doing the podcast together, like I feel like you're just not in the right mindset, which like that was a really hard conversation for me to say, because who am I to tell Lauren what she thinks? And that wasn't even
Mm-hmm.
what I was trying to do, but it was more just like I can't be the mental energy for both of us. Like it's
Yep.
too much for me being in a new job, being a new mom, trying to
Mhm.
figure out new, like, where I am in my position. And so, yeah, I just had a conversation. Like, we had an open and honest conversation. And like, it was so funny how much I feared having that conversation. And then like when we actually had it, we were both on the same page. Like, it was
Yes.
like, yeah. So anyways, that was my standpoint. And then we just took time over that Christmas where I said, okay, I'm going to take 2 weeks off the podcast and figure out what my next steps are. And for me, I knew I wanted to continue, and Lauren was fine with me continuing. So that's why it continued with just me as a solo host.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes.
Lauren, your perspective.
Yeah. It's very, I guess, similar in a sense because
Yeah.
yes, when we had started, I was at my parents' house, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, I was still at my parents' house. I was in a excuse me. I was in a course, I don't even remember, marketing or something like that,
Yeah.
at George Brown, something so random, but I was like, I need to do something, like I don't know what to do, so I just kind of hopped into something.
Yeah.
It was also the pandemic, so everything was closed, and
Mm-hmm.
I was much more reliable because I was at home
There was
24/7.
no distractions.
There was no distractions. So when I moved back downtown and I was like trying to find my footing of what I wanted to do, I wasn't taking that course anymore. And then again, I started the bottle service era,
Mm-hmm.
and that took a lot of energy out of me. And I went into like just this time of not feeling like myself, or that I should be sharing on the podcast. And I could tell that I was starting to pull away, and you were like very much into it and always like brought the energy, and I started to feel bad, and I was also unreliable. Oh my gosh, why is my throat like this?
You're
Excuse me,
getting
sorry.
back used to talking to the mic.
Yeah, right. I haven't spoken this much in so long. No.
Yeah.
And I was being unreliable. I was a very unreliable person when I went into that bottle service era. I was always late. I was always rescheduling, and
Mm-hmm.
I was not in it. I was being very selfish, but also selfish in like I was in a dark place kind of
Yeah.
selfish. That was even just the beginning of my like little
Yeah.
downward
Yeah.
spiral,
So
but
just
it, it
to
got
the
even
tip of
it
the
got even
iceberg.
it was just the tip of the iceberg. But yes, so when Grace came to me, I was like 100% like, I can see you flourishing. I had already thought about like, I could see you flourishing doing this on your own, and I thought it
Mm-hmm.
was a great starting point, I guess, transition. Like I honestly should have said something earlier, but I was also nervous to say something to her, which
Mm-hmm.
was making me like, I don't want to say anything yet. Like, I feel bad. Like, I don't want it to ruin our relationship. Like, I do
Yeah.
enjoy the time that we got to spend talking on the podcast, but I was definitely like, my mental capacity to do that was just going out the window slowly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, then we had talked about it, and we were both on the same page, and I was like, I think that you 100% should go off and do this on your own, because you you had already shown so much like that you were just a positive influence and a good vibe, and able to like speak to people and influence other people, and always had good ideas and very organized. And I was like, I think she will skyrocket if I let her do it on her own. So yeah, we came to that conclusion and
Yeah.
agreement, and look at her now. So yeah.
Yeah, it was literally no drama at all.
No,
And
zero
it was one of
drama.
those things where I feel like if we hadn't had that conversation, it could have, like, we could have resented each other, like,
Yeah.
quickly. Like, that's where it was turning to. Like, I think ultimately we are family and we'll never turn our backs on each other.
Yeah.
But like, I'm so glad that we chose to do it at that point, no matter how
Mm-hmm.
like nerve-wracking that conversation can
Mm-hmm.
be. Yeah, because like I feel like literally the next week it was like back to normal, you know what I mean, back to
Yeah.
scheduled programming.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that's the tea. There really was no tea.
No.
And
That's
I think it's
the
just one
pipe
of
and
those
half.
things. Yeah, literally, I think it's just one of those things where you have to realize that open communication is the most important thing, like, out
Yes,
there.
I've
Yeah.
learned that.
And yeah, it's hard. Like, I feel like, and I feel like we talked about this a lot on the podcast, even just in our conversations, is like, especially I feel like I'm still always learning it, but even like those early 20s when you first move out from home, you start having roommates, all of these things, like it's so easy to turn inwards and like let your inner voice like fuel your inner voice and fuel the spiral. But like it's like, oh wait, we should just have a conversation and like
Yes.
not hate each other without letting each other know that we're feeling a certain way.
Yes, exactly. And I learned that with all my different roommates, which I
Oh,
still
that's
found it
roommate.
very
I
hard
know.
to talk to people when they were my roommate, but
Oh, I know. Roommates are another thing. Like
that's just something different. With family,
we
though,
should have a roommate episode. I'm like, Lauren, you're coming
Oh.
back on the podcast.
Oh yes,
but we should.
I have lots of stories.
Like, we have lots of roommate stories. We have to be as respectful as possible.
Of course.
Yes, but we should definitely have a roommate episode. Yeah, there's something about roommates. I always say like it's because you're so used to living with family, and then all of a sudden you expect it to be like a similar vibe, but it's not. You don't have each other's best
whole
interests.
Different human that got raised differently.
Totally.
Interacts
Love
with
is not the
differently.
baseline.
No, it is like I just met you and you just met me, and now we're stuck in for me, an apartment.
Yeah.
Together with one bathroom.
Yeah.
Which is
we have to share spaces. Yeah.
We have to share the spaces. And if you don't vibe with that person or you're not on the same space sharing levels, then it can be very difficult.
Very difficult. And there's not really an escape.
Yeah.
Okay, well, amazing. Let's get into this is Lauren's favorite part. We even did this on her birthday, our roses, buds, and thorns.
Yeah, I literally, so I do that. Okay, so I already said his name, so I guess it doesn't matter. Damien.
It doesn't matter.
I literally always do it with him. Like we'll be like sitting on the couch at the end of the night, and I'm like, "What's your rosebud and thorn? What's your rosebud and thorn?" And he's
such
like,
a good connection moment.
Yes, and
it's also good to just like reflect.
It is, because sometimes you go through the day and like multiple days, and you're like, I feel like I just like repeated. But like there definitely had to have been moments where like it was a good day or it was not a good day or whatever. So
totally.
Yes. So she inspired me. So we did it on my birthday too. Because I was like,
amazing.
Grace taught me rosebud and thorns.
This was our camp thing. We did this even back at camp. So yeah, it's such a good thing. We do it with Ro now and it's so cute. And it's one of those things where I feel like you go through life sometimes and like a week or two, a month will pass and you'll be like, oh, I'm so unsatisfied. I'm so unhappy. Like, especially with social media, you'll be like, this person that, or they look like this, or they have these clothes, or such materialistic things, right? You're like, I want this, I want that. And then you're like feeling so unsatisfied. But like, if every day, it doesn't even have to be every day, but like, even if just once a week, you like touched back in with yourself and was like, hey, what is my rosebud and thorn? And then you're like, wow, life's great. I'm happy. I'm building the life I want. Yeah.
There'll be so many days that you'll be like, well, there was no thorn.
Yeah,
like,
I know. I love those days. Yeah. Yes. Or like here, I always say our thorn turns into a bud because I like talk myself out of it while I'm saying it. I'm like, oh yeah, but you know, like that happened for a reason.
Yes.
Anyways, rosebud and thorn. So how should we do this? Should we do like our roses and then our buds and then our thorns, like go back and forth?
Sure.
Okay. So do you want to start? Should I start? What do you want to do?
I can start with my rose.
Okay. What's your rose of the week or the day, whatever?
Well, I haven't done much this morning yet, so we'll do the week. I guess I forgot to touch on this point that I started bartending this summer, but then I had quit recently because I was kind of just doing it for the summertime. Yeah. So my rose was, again, with the awkward conversations, I had gone to my boss at the bar being like, hey, like it's not really gonna work for me. Like maybe I could do like once every 2 weeks, but like it's really opposite to my schedule and I'm getting really busy now. So they ended up coming back to me being like, we're gonna have to just fill your position. And I was like, perfect. You know what? That works.
What I wanted.
That's exactly what I wanted. I didn't really want to be
and
be anywhere near the bar at all.
Yeah, totally.
So my rose was, in spite of awkward conversations, it ended up going well, and I'm very happy that I never have to go to bed at 4 a.m. again.
Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, my rose, I'm trying to think. You know what? I went shopping with my mom yesterday. So currently while this is out, I'm in Italy, but I am in packing mindset right now. And so
Yes.
I had like pulled out a bunch of our clothes and like was making piles and then figured out what we are missing. And like I went shopping with my mom yesterday to get all the last like minute things that we need. And it was such a good shopping like trip. I haven't had a trip like that where it's just like felt good. Also, me and my mom used to always go shopping, like back to school shopping around
Mm-hmm.
August, September. And that was always like my birthday gift was like we would do a shopping trip. And so it was just fun to have my mom there. I had said to my mom, like, oh, I need to go shopping. And she was like, oh, yeah, there's a few things I need. Like, can I come? And I was like, for sure. And it was just such a girl's day, you know? Like, I
I
love
love
that.
that.
Yeah,
I
it
love a
was so
little
fun.
mommy
Yeah.
daughter shopping
Exactly.
spree.
Little mommy daughter shopping spree. Okay, your bud, or no, let's do thorn. Bud should come after. So what's your thorn this week?
My thorn this week. I'm trying to think back on my last couple of days. The only thing I can think of is I kind of pulled my shoulder yesterday when I
Oh
was
no.
teaching a class. I was like demonstrating, and
Oh
then I
no.
I didn't warm up with
Oh
them.
no.
So when I was
Yeah.
demonstrating, kind of like pulled. I didn't dislocate it or anything that dramatic, but it just
Gotta
like
take it easy.
kind of nicked it a little bit.
Oh yeah,
So,
that's the worst.
but she'll be fine.
She'll be fine. She'll be fine.
She'll
take
be
it
okay.
easy.
Yes.
Okay, my thorn. Okay, I have a good one and it
Okay.
might like freak people out, but like all of a sudden about 20 minutes ago a spider appeared on this wall over here.
Oh my
And I've
goodness.
just been like eyeing it. It's still there. It's a daddy long leg, so like those ones I'm really fine with. Like
Okay.
they're if it was like a big juicy one, oh.
I hate spiders.
No, this is just like a little daddy long legs. It's staying in its corner. I still can see it, but it's there. And it's one of those things where it's like, if you come over here, your life may be ending soon, but we're good. We're good.
He's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Your bud. What are you looking forward to?
This one might be like mini long, but so because I have been in my little transformative, like really diving deep in myself, and I have been doing a lot of like manifesting and praying and stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of things have been like just coming easily, and I've been like almost like manifesting things to happen, and or like just like talk about something or like dream about something, or it'll like come up somewhere. It's like so strange. So my bud is just that, like that continues, and like I'm just like really excited to see what next things happen, like whether or not it is like, oh, like this person gotta go, like, whatever it is, like I'm just excited to see like what I'm being shown next, or like what I'm kind of manifest next. Like just
I love that.
Yes,
I love it. Like I truly probably know nothing about manifestation in its like true form, but
yes, me neither, to be honest.
I feel like I 100% believe like put out into the world what you want, and then also like be open and aware and accepting of what the universe is providing to you, because I feel like it's so easy to distract yourself and put on your blinders and like not actually see what's like out there, but like little tidbits and like or redirection, like there's so much beauty that comes in all of that. So that's exciting. My bud, what am I looking forward to? You know what? I'm looking forward to decorating for Halloween. I know I'm saying this and it's not even October, but like this is coming out in October. So like so I'm like so looking forward to it. Ro really wants to do like a spooky house, and like I feel like the past 2 years the first year we moved in, I like got the flowers, the pumpkins, like right away. I was so excited. I was like, a house, a stoop, I get to decorate. But I feel like since then I've been like running with like my head cut off around the holiday times. Like I feel like I'm always just like trying to get to the next day, but I want to embrace it this year. Like I'm like, you only got it one time a year, like you have to embrace it. So I'm looking forward, and Ro's like totally into it. So I think like she is just like every time we go to a store and she sees fall stuff, like she's so excited. Actually, we actually don't have fall. Like she calls fall Halloween. Like I was talking to her literally this morning. She was like, I was like, you need to take a bath or a shower this morning. And like in the summertime, sometimes we'll just go in the pool and call it a day. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I was like, you have to take a bath or a shower this morning. And she was like, it's okay, Mom. I'll just go in the pool tonight. And I was like, Ro, the pool is freezing. Like, we're closing it like in
It's
just a couple days. So I was like, I don't think that's gonna work. And she's like, why are we closing it? I was like, for winter. And she's like, and for Halloween. And I was like, yeah, because she calls Halloween fall.
Yes,
and
yes.
spring is Easter. I just have to say that. It's so funny. She came down for breakfast. She was like, Daddy, we're closing the pool for Halloween, winter, and Easter. But then it'll be open in summer.
That is so cute.
It is. So
I was actually no, go ahead.
No, you go.
No, I was just gonna say I was listening to a podcast because I've been listening to podcasts in the car when I'm driving.
Oh yeah.
And she was just saying how she's like getting ready to decorate for
Yes.
fall, and like she's like, I got my Starbucks drink, like my fall menu drink, whatever. She's like, I'm so excited. So
yeah, I feel like I'm excited. Like, and also like I don't think I do have a little baggie of Halloween stuff. Like, and by a little baggie, I mean literally a Ziploc bag of like a few table decorations, because we put out a table every year that has like our Halloween treats on it.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm ready to like commit to a few more things. You know, every year get a few new things that like you bring out annually. Yeah, so that'll be fun. But yeah, that's my bud. So I guess we should get into our entertainment recap. And I heard that you had a binge day earlier, like a binge TV day, and I got to know what you were watching.
I was watching Desperate Housewives.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I forgot you were watching Desperate Housewives.
Now.
I think that's the end, isn't it? Or is it 8?
How many seasons are there? I think there's 8. I hope there's 8 because
okay. Yeah,
I'm not ready for it to end.
I loved Desperate Housewives. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I found personally, like the first season I got into it right away, and I kind of didn't realize what it is, but it's like a murder drama.
Yeah, like a neighborhood murder drama.
It took
mystery,
me to like
all this stuff.
It took me to like the 3rd season to realize that. Like I was like, oh, okay, there's gonna be
why
a murder
do people keep dying? Yeah.
I was like, why do we all have guns and why is there dead people? Yeah.
Why are we burying bodies? I don't understand. So
literally, yeah, it took me till the 3rd season to realize that. And I found personally, like for every season after the first, it would take me until about halfway through the season to really get into it. And then I was like so invested because it's really like a different timeline.
Yeah, it's a different timeline. It's a little like it has like a repetitive sense, as in like somebody's always like disappearing or dying or like
and
whatever it is
at the very end.
Yes. Yeah. But I feel like it's good because I haven't sat and like had a show that I've watched like the season, like the whole series in a long time, like probably since I'm trying to think Grey's Anatomy, like something like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, point being, I have just been able to like sit, or like I'll leave it on in the background, or I'll put it on as my show before I go to bed. Like I'll watch one episode and then I'll go read and then I'll go to bed. Yeah. So I've just been really enjoying it, and
it feels cozy. It does. And I love how they touch on so much of life's like
they actually
ups and downs.
I was definitely noticing that. I was like, wait, when did this show come out? Because I feel like they even touch like just on like so many different things about like religion and like what else was
different sicknesses like
illnesses like I literally am on the episode where Susan got her second kidney. Yes.
I was
like, do I spoil it?
I'm sure you've had time to watch it, guys. If you think this is spoiling, like it came out
it's been years. Get it together.
Yeah, here we are both only watching it this year.
Yeah. But I'm like they touch on a lot of topics and I'm like
I really like it. I wish I was gonna say, if you have you watched Sex in the City or Sex and the City? I always call it In the City.
No, I haven't.
Okay,
actually.
Like if you're looking for a show after this, I feel like that would be a really good one for you. That has lots of seasons and it's really enjoyable as well. Okay, and then it has 2 movies after, and they have now a reboot.
I have watched the movies though.
Okay, and they now have a reboot. They have 2 new reboot like seasons, which I really enjoy. Like I just watched the 2nd season of it. I think it's called And Just Like That, and I am loving it. I loved it. So that would be my recommendation for you. And I think it's really good because it also goes through like people in their 20s and upwards. But yeah,
Oh, okay,
it's really
nice.
good. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's not
What's
like
your
as raunchy as what you think the title is. You know what I mean?
Oh. No, because even
Like,
the
it's got more,
movies
exactly. It's got more depth
we're not.
to it.
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Is that what's your
No. Well, I
movie
guess
show?
I was like, what am I watching right now? I just finished Below Deck Down Under, which I was like, all of a sudden, I love all the Below Decks, but I like hadn't watched Below Deck in a while, and then I just like picked it up and I like became obsessed with it. Watched it in like 2 days. I was also
Did
like
you
sick on
start that one
Sunday.
with Becca?
No, I have
Oh,
not
no.
watched it with Becca. No, but
Oh, okay,
that's
just
what I
kidding.
did. So me and Lauren were supposed to record on the weekend. We were going to record in
Mhm.
person, but I woke up
Mhm.
and me and Ro ended up feeling like crap. So, anyways, I literally watched it all day on Sunday. I
So we
was
both
like,
had little
"Is
movie
that
day
what
or
yours was?"
show days.
Yeah,
Yes, Sunday was the day I was like,
it
I'm
was
gonna get so much
perfect.
done today, and then I was like, you know what? It's
No,
Sunday. I'm
it
just
was
gonna
meant
sit
to
on the
be.
couch.
Yeah, it was meant to
Yeah.
be. It was perfect. Um, but I am still watching Love Island because that's back on Hey You. And
Ooh.
there's something on Netflix that I want to watch. But now that Netflix is so weird and can only be
I
logged
have,
in on certain places,
yeah.
like it's on one of our TVs, but I don't go to that
It's
TV very often.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So it's one of those things where it's like, I'll watch it when I watch it.
yeah. I haven't been on Netflix in a while. I've just been a Disney Plus girly for a
Oh,
while.
me too. Exactly.
Yes.
So I'm trying to think what it was that I saw on Netflix. Oh, Virgin River. There's a new Virgin River.
Oh, you just reminded
Yeah.
me. Oh, I just clapped in the mic. That there is actually a few shows that updated their seasons on Netflix. Now you just
Yes.
reminded me that. So I'm
I
gonna go
know. It's
back
like
and I think
exactly.
like
And it's
even
like,
like the Sheldon one, Sheldon Cooper.
oh, Young
What's his name?
Sheldon.
Young Sheldon. I was
You like
watching
the
that.
show? I know. Someone told me it's so good. I need to start
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did actually get really good. So I think they have a
Okay.
new season out. So
Oh, there you
that's
go.
another
Exactly.
recommendation.
I feel like, yeah. And I feel like TV watching, like I've been living off my iPad currently. Like that's my favorite thing
Mhm.
to watch right now. But I feel like TV watching is definitely when it gets darker and colder.
Yes,
Yeah. So it's
yes,
the
for
vibes.
sure. Going
It's
into
the
the fall
vibes. Yeah.
season.
So
Yes. Or
I'm glad I'm
Halloween
collecting
season.
those things onto Netflix. So I'll have lots to watch.
Yes.
But amazing. Well, anyways, we've come to the end, Lauren.
Thanks for having me. It was
Thanks
so
for
nice. Feels
being
very
here.
nostalgic.
Literally, there was like one part where you were talking, and I was just like, this is the best podcast ever. Like,
Aw.
I was like, this feels so good. I was like, oh my gosh. At the beginning, we both logged on and were like scrambling a bit because we were like, oh, wait, how do we do this? We forgot how to podcast with other people.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's funny how it just like goes right back. Like nothing ever happened.
exactly. No
um,
tea, no
yeah,
hot pipe and tea.
exactly. No hot pipe and tea, just hot chocolate here and warm hugs.
Yes. Yes.
But also you got to let us know where to hit you up.
Oh yes. My Instagram and my TikTok. My TikTok is a little just random stuff that I just like post,
Fun
but
little
my
pops.
yeah, just like little random updates. But my handles are the same. It's at Lauren Kinsie Fit. So you can follow me there. I also have a website, which is lkfitness.ca for all your training inquiries. You can also message me on Instagram, but yeah.
Awesome. Amazing. So go follow Lauren. She's got all the fitness inspo that you've ever needed. And then also I feel like the good down to earth like stuff that sometimes you don't see in fitfluencers. Is that what you're called?
Influencer? I guess so,
Yeah.
yes.
And also just to keep up to date on this like super transformative time in Lauren's life because
Yes.
I'm loving
Yes.
following along. So yeah. Anyways, thanks so much for being here. I wish everyone a beautiful week ahead and I'm excited to come back next week. And also let us know if you think me and Lauren should do a roommates episode because I think it would be a good
Yes.
one.
I think it would be a juicy topic.
I think so for sure.
Yes.
Okay. See you all later. Bye.
Bye.